Clark shares some of his Kryptonian history with Jordan and Jonathan during a family breakfast. Meanwhile, Lois and Chrissy dig deeper to uncover the truth about Morgan Edge. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Superman and Lois Episode 3. So we start out with the Kent family having a bit of fun in their living room as they're trying to paint when Clark hears a bridge collapsing in China, so he speeds off to save people, of course. And what makes this scene so good is the moment of terror, then relief, and joy of a fisherman who realizes he was saved from this bridge falling on him. And, you know, the fact that Superman's holding up a bridge in front of him and he's like, oh my God, we're this close and he just saved me. The guy was super, happy. He's like all jumping up and down for joy almost. It was really good. It was a really good opening sequence for this third episode. We also get to see Jonathan and Jordan in school together finally, which I thought was really good because this is great because of how, they start to interact at school. We see Jonathan's really not lost anymore now that his brother's going with him. And we see Jordan is talking to Sarah as well about hanging out after school when her boyfriend Malcolm slams Jordan up against the lockers and he's basically starting a fight because he doesn't want his girlfriend talking to him because they kissed. Jordan kissed her, and Jonathan, of course, is trying to stop this. He's like, hey, leave my brother alone. And we see Jordan really kind of start to, zone out because his powers are starting to manifest a little bit. And this is where all of a sudden Clark appears in the hallway. And he's like, oh, hey, this place hasn't changed much, and everybody scatters except for Jonathan and Jordan, and on the drive home, the boys learn that Clark has been using his super hearing to listen in on them, and they are mad, and that's natural. You don't want your parents spying on you or things like that, or other people, so they're upset about it, and they walk away from them. And later on, things get said by Jordan to Clark about not being there and stuff, but he's just angry, They're 14-year-old kids or 15-year-old kids, so they're in that, that phase of, oh, I don't like you, you're just holding me down type thing, you know what I mean? Like most of us went through, so it was, these were really good scenes. So Clark's trying to make it up to him, obviously, and we cut to Lois working at the Smallville Gazette, and she's still chasing the Morgan Edge story, and she's having a little bit of problems with Chrissy, the actual editor of the Gazette, and she wants her to do certain other things, but she's like, no, I'm chasing this. And then a woman comes in and gives them a lead on her missing son. She's like, my son's missing, and this was the last thing, he ever said to me. And as we go on, she ends up going, Lois ends up going to meet the woman at a motel out of town, where she gets attacked by a guy who clearly has super powers, and she has to call Superman in. And this I thought was a really good fight scene because we see Superman using his his immense strength, and he's not even really doing hardly any damage to this guy. And he gets beat up, but he gets back up and just really kind of gets into the fight a little more and, takes the guy out. He punches him through a brick wall, so, and the guy takes off. So I thought that was pretty good. But honestly, the real highlights for this episode, come from Jonathan and Jordan together, especially in school interacting. And then Jordan does something extremely unexpected. He tries out for the football team. And, and there's a certain reason why he does it, as you find out. But at first, Jonathan doesn't really like it because Jonathan is like, this is my thing. Football's my thing. Your thing is to be a wallflower. And Jordan is like, oh, well, he's kind of hemming and hawing about it. And then, as the episodes go on and they keep showing him at the practices, Jordan's actually starting to be happy and make friends. And of course, Clark and Lois are completely opposed to this, right? They're like, no, because of your powers, and and this is where Jordan's like, oh, well, then I guess I'll just be a freak forever, and but his brother Jonathan really steps up and he talks to Clark and tells Clark about how he's making friends and how he's really happy, for like the first time ever. So Clark ends up, allowing him to join the football team, and he asks him, straight out, like, why do you want this? And he's like, well, at first it was because of something else, for this reason, but then it's because of this. And, he's like, okay. So Clark is like, yep, go ahead. As long as this is something you actually want, I'll allow you to do it, but you need to hold back. You need to, take it a little easier with the powers. So he's like, oh, okay, and he's super happy about it. So I really thought this was a fantastic whole sequence with these guys, especially with the football. We also get some really good emotional scenes from Lana and Sarah as well, where, again, she's kind of rebellious, but she feels like she's stuck, in this life that she may not want when she gets older. And, and it really shows that Lana is really trying, and it also shows that she's trying to put on a good face for everybody, like smile at your neighbor no matter what's going on behind closed doors type thing. And, that it really shows that they're finally opening up to each other because of like what happened in like the summer before. With Sarah. So, we're really starting to see people open up. Even Lana opens up to Clark about like certain things about her, personal life that nobody really knows about, and I thought these were really good scenes. Like I was smiling and I cracked up a couple of times throughout this whole episode. The effects in this, or the cliffhanger first of this, was absolutely fantastic. We get introduced to a new character and I was just like, what is going on? And there's a mystery brewing with Lois, So I think we're going to get really to see more of her. Even though it's only an hour long, they've got to kind of split it up between Clark and her. But I think there's going to be something really good going on with Lois soon. The effects in this were really good, especially the bridge collapse scene where, I mean, it looked real. I almost thought Tyler Hoechlin was holding up a bridge, for real. The cinematics of this are fantastic. I have no issues with them. The acting was great. I mean, let alone from Jonathan and Jordan were like really upset when they found out their dad was using his super hearing to spy on him, basically. It really looked believable. All the way to like the football stuff where, Jonathan is like, this is mine, not yours, and Jordan's like, well, I kind of like it, and like the whole thing was super good. And of course Clark and Lois were good in their roles as well. I actually liked them. I actually liked the fact that Lois got a little more time with a story in the third episode now. This episode was fantastic. We get to see the Clark family start to settle into Smallville. We also get to see some problems with like the other families, like Lana's and things like that. So we really get to see like nobody's perfect, and there's like a mystery brewing, like a start of a good mystery with Lois chasing down the Morgan Edge story. So I thought that was really good. I would give this a solid 9 out of 10, easily 9. This was a great episode. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe, as I'll be doing more content each week. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Take care for now, everybody.